Welcome to This Explainer. We've literally all been there. You slowly open your eyes, you're actually feeling strangely refreshed, and then you realize you've just beaten one of the most stressful sounds on planet Earth, your alarm clock. It's a completely universal experience, yet it feels uniquely bizarre every single time it happens. So, what is the exact science going on inside your head when you beat the clock? Let's dive in. Picture this. You open your eyes, roll over to check the nightstand, and boom, you realize there are exactly 2 minutes left before your alarm is set to go off. Against all odds, you've somehow miraculously beaten it. But think about what's actually missing in that exact moment. There was absolutely zero sound. No blaring siren, no morning radio DJ, no aggressive digital beeping to jolt you out of your sleep. The room is just completely silent. And there was no vibration either. Your phone didn't buzz on the table, no one slammed a door down the hall, nothing external prompted you to open your eyes. You literally just woke up. It's like your brain has its own built-in clock, perfectly synced to the exact minute you wanted to get up. For some folks, this happens at the exact same time every single morning without even setting an alarm at all. It sounds almost supernatural, doesn't it? But here's the fascinating science behind it. Your brain absolutely knows what time it is, even while you are fast asleep. Okay, let's break down the science of this timeline. Imagine it's 10:30 at night. You switch off the lights, ditch the phone, and close your eyes. Sleep begins. But your brain, it isn't just shutting down for the night. Within minutes, it starts executing a highly structured, complex schedule. Hours before that 7 a.m. alarm is supposed to ring, your body kicks off a major biological preparation phase, right around 5 a.m. To really understand how this works, we have to meet the absolute star of our biological show, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Yes, it's a mouthful, but deep inside your brain is this incredible group of nerve cells acting as your body's master clock. Think of it like a master conductor leading a massive symphony. This tiny biological clock coordinates almost everything you do. It dictates when you feel sleepy, when you wake up, when your core body temperature changes, and exactly when certain hormones get released into your bloodstream. And if we look at the hard numbers, this incredibly powerful master clock is made up of exactly 20,000 nerve cells. Now, 20,000 might sound like a lot, but in the grand scheme of the human brain, which literally has billions of cells, this is an incredibly specialized, hyper-concentrated little control center. In fact, despite controlling your entire daily schedule and the rhythmic flow of your life, this vital cluster of 20,000 cells is impossibly small. We're talking roughly the size of a single grain of rice, yet it holds the absolute power to wake you up before your alarm. So how does this rice-sized clock actually pull it off? Through something scientists call the cortisol sunrise. Around 1 to 2 hours before your usual wake-up time, your brain slowly starts pumping out cortisol. Now, I know cortisol gets a pretty bad rap as the stress hormone, but in the morning, it's your best friend. It's the wake-up hormone. Just like a real sunrise where the sky doesn't just instantly snap to broad daylight, your brain wakes you up the exact same way, little by little, hormone by hormone, gently preparing you to open your eyes. But here's where the science gets really wild. Your brain isn't just taking random guesses about when to wake up. It actively prepares based on your regular schedule and, get this, your expectations. Scientists actually tested this in a highly unusual sleep experiment that we absolutely have to talk about. During this experiment, researchers found a totally fascinating contrast. They told volunteers they were going to wake them up at a certain time. Group A was given the correct time, while Group B was secretly given the wrong time. And the results? The people who expected to wake up earlier produced significantly more cortisol before waking, even when no alarm had gone off yet. Their brains literally started preparing the biological sunrise simply because they believed it was time. Which brings us to a mind-blowing takeaway from the source material. Your expectations actually change your biology. Just the mere belief that it was time to get up physically altered these volunteers' brain chemistry and hormone production. It's an incredible testament to how deeply synced our conscious expectations are with our subconscious biological clocks. But of course, enter the modern world, right? This beautifully tuned biological system gets totally wrecked by our habits. Your internal body clock depends heavily on light. Natural sunlight hitting your eyes tells your brain to stay awake, while darkness triggers melatonin, the sleepy hormone. But staying up late, binge watching videos, or scrolling through your phone, that severely disrupts the whole operation. Bright blue phone screens drastically confuse your brain. Because to your brain, that bright blue light beaming from your screen looks a whole lot like natural daylight. It's essentially telling your body, nope, it's definitely still the afternoon. So your melatonin production gets delayed, you fall asleep way later, and waking up naturally the next day becomes practically impossible. Suddenly that alarm clock isn't just an annoyance, it's your absolute worst enemy. Now, what about those really high-stakes mornings? Have you ever noticed that you effortlessly beat the alarm on the morning of a massive job interview, a huge exam, or a 5 a.m. flight? You set your alarm perfectly, but your eyes just snap open a few minutes early anyway. Most people just write that off as a weird coincidence. But scientists think there's a lot more going on. When your brain knows that tomorrow really matters, it actually stays slightly more alert during your sleep. It's not fully awake, but it's totally ready. Think of it like a night security guard patrolling a building while everyone else is asleep. A tiny part of your mind just remains on standby, keeping up this extra layer of awareness because your brain absolutely refuses to miss something that important. Moving along our nightly timeline, we have to tackle another super common sleep mystery, the 3 a.m. myth. Do you ever wake up at exactly 3 a.m. or another highly specific time every single night? A lot of people think this has some deep, mysterious, or even supernatural meaning behind it. But the reality, it's just science. And the answer comes down to this specific number, 90. See, human sleep happens in cycles, and each of these cycles lasts right around 90 minutes. At the very end of every 90-minute cycle, your sleep naturally transitions into a much lighter phase. And when you hit that lighter stage of sleep, you become incredibly vulnerable to everyday triggers. If you're stressed, if the house makes a subtle creaking noise, if the room temperature drops, or if you just need to use the bathroom, boom, you wake up. It's a completely normal biological response to your environment right at the end of a sleep cycle. But here's the absolute trap you fall into. You wake up at 3 a.m. and your brain starts spinning, wondering why you're awake. You roll over, you check the clock. If you do this night after night, eventually your body starts expecting to wake up at that exact time. Without even realizing it, you've secretly trained your own internal master clock to wake you up in the dead of night. The good news? Because this is a trained behavior, you can totally untrain it. You can reset your internal clock right now by following a few science-backed tick ways. First, hit the pillow at the exact same time every night. Second, get sunlight in your eyes immediately after waking up to blast a clear morning signal to your brain. And third, ditch those bright screens before bed so your melatonin can actually do its job naturally. So bringing it all together for this explainer, the reason you wake up before your alarm is actually beautifully simple. Your brain isn't just sitting in the dark waiting for a loud sound to start the day. It doesn't need a digital beep to know the sun is coming up. Because, as we've seen, it's been quietly preparing for hours. Your hormones shifted, your core body temperatures steadily rose, and your brain gradually ramped up its alertness. By the time that designated wake-up minute actually rolls around, your biological orchestra has already flawlessly set the stage. So next time your eyes pop open 2 minutes before that alarm goes off, don't think of it as mere luck. That alarm didn't wake you up. It just rudely interrupted a biological masterpiece that had already begun. It's absolute proof of the brilliantly engineered master clock ticking away inside your mind right now. Which really makes you wonder, what other secret biological countdowns is your brain keeping track of right now without you even realizing it?